capturing. Just keep to center. Okay. Africa is full of culture and customs. As you may know already, many traditional religions have developed from this cultural powerhouse. Traditional religions have been preserved for years through the telling of folklore. Each of these tales focuses on a different god, while at the same time they provide moralistic and religious concepts for those who follow it. All traditional religions are polytheistic, meaning that they believe in the ideology of multiple gods. The Yoruba created this sculpture around the 20th century. Currently, the Yoruba are one of Africa's biggest ethnic groups to have faith in traditional religion. The carvings of different gods shown in this sculpture provide proof that traditional religion has always been polytheistic. Although gods vary between different Yoruba religions, they all can be traced to the same ancestor religion. For example, both the sculptures in this image were created around the 15th and 20th centuries. These two are found among many more in a large amount of ancient Yoruba villages. Even though both these sculptures were made to represent different religious leaders from different Yoruba religions, they are both carved with similar physical characteristics. This could possibly mean that these figures were both part of the same religion at one stage. Before Islam had spread to most of Africa, traditional religion had occupied a major portion of the continent's geography. But over time, the belief in these religions has been reduced to only a few regions. Stories of traditional religion continue to be passed down through lineage, and with limited resources, historians proceed to unlock its enduring past. Yeah, that was gnarly. God. From the 15th to 20th centuries, a majority of African tribes inaugurated their political leaders into high religious authority. Powerful kings were expected to keep their regions safe. Fortniter! As well as lead traditional religious ceremonies. The Uni of La-Ife in Nigeria, a traditional religious center of the Yoruba people, is an example of a group that had religious leaders in control of their hierarchical government. One way that these governments kept control was through the strength of their people's religious faith. Those who had faith in the religion remained appeased and obedient to the government's religious guidelines. In the religious center of Uni of La-Ife, people dared not question the authority of the government because it was believed that the Uni were the sacred guardians of the Ifa. The Ifa is the connection between all the traditional religions. It's the ultimate Torah of the religious world. It is said that the Ifa contained the sacred knowledge that the gods used to create the first humans. As a result, people would never disobey the Uni because they presumed that the gods granted them unbelievable power. Another large ethnic group that has a similar hierarchical system is the Igbo. The Igbo used to require that the high priest of Odin must also serve as the political leader for the Fon people. I can't stop laughing. The Fon are an ethnic group with the greatest population in Benin. An additional multitasker in the Igbo's hierarchy was the Oni-Ishi. Not only was the Oni-Ishi the eldest member of their council of elders, but he was also invested with the high religious authority. Now, the job of the Oni-Ishi was just as important to the religious establishment as it was to the government. In the council of elders, the Oni-Ishi was responsible for making final decisions within the council group. These decisions could be regarding the religious calendar as well as improvements to the region's general society. The Oni-Ishi's religious role, as I mentioned before, involves the assigning of dates to the religious calendar. These dates are in which ceremonies, sacrifices, and celebrations are to take place. Aside from these major religious roles that I have mentioned, there are many other minor roles that play significant parts in traditional religion. One of these positions includes the job as rainmaker. The rainmaker is expected to use magic and herbal intellect to ensure rainfall during times of drought, or he is expected to stop rainfall during major flooding. Rainmakers are considered to be early meteorologists because of their studies and interpretations of the weather. At the time, people believed that the importance of the rainmakers was to control the rain. But today, we believe that the rainmaker's importance was that he provides people with the faith to keep on living during hard times. One way that the rainmakers would attempt to manipulate the environment was through the burning of wood. But they also tried more mystical attempts, like performing animal sacrifices in front of religious shrines.
Followers of traditional African religions are devoted to their customs and celebrations that make them unique enough from other religions, yet similar in various ways as well. Some similarities between all traditional African religions is that prayers take place on tops of hills, elders will most likely lead prayer, and they make sacrifices to please their gods. The most used offerings to their gods are cooked food, beer, or animals such as goats, cows, and chickens. Here's an image of a young alcoholic man sleeping next to a slaughtered corpse of a goat. His family and him arranged this special sacrifice to cleanse his sins and hopefully use the guidance of the gods to help him change. Another belief the traditional African religion followers paid much attention to was the god's way of telling them that they were unhappy or mad. Illness, bad luck, bad weather, and unplentiful harvest.
What happened to my brain?
Believing in this has encouraged people to have good relations with families, friends, and neighbors, and communities to be cooperative with each other. These people also enjoy expressing their belief in their desired traditional African religion by holding celebrations for various reasons, such as birth, death, weddings, and initiation. That is basically a coming of age ceremony. Similar to the traditional African religion's initiation ceremony, Jews celebrate a point in a Jewish teenager's life where they are considered adults and are expected to be treated as so. This is otherwise known as bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. Bar mitzvahs for the newly distinguished men, and vice versa. One way followers of traditional African religions remember their late ancestors is through annually revisiting them and giving them offerings and gifts like food and drink. They also will say special prayers to the deceased during their visits. These ceremonies or gatherings for the dead, well after they passed away, is similar to the Spanish holiday Day of the Dead, where Spaniards return to their late ancestors' graves and give them gifts in remembrance of their importance. Dances accompany most ceremonies and celebrations, and in the eyes of the Africans, dance is considered one of the most important aspects in traditional ceremonies and celebrations. This is a dramatic reenactment of a wedding ceremony. Dances are also performed when one is seeking help from spirits or worshiping their ancestors. Africans are known for their abundant customs and celebrations that originate from their unique and fascinating traditional religions. Traditional religions in Africa are an essential part to the way people live life. These religions and beliefs influence the government's hierarchy and encourages cooperations within communities and have good character and morals. Not only does religion help encompass government and life overall, but it has unique customs that separate them apart from other modern-day religions. To express their devout belief and their desired traditional practices, Africans perform ceremonies and celebrations, much like Jewish bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah, and the Spanish holiday Day of the Dead. Traditional African religions may not be something you hear about in the news every day, or something you've even heard of before, but they truthfully are just as interesting and influential on society as Christianity, Judaism, or Islam may be.
Thank you for watching our presentation and not falling asleep.